Welcome back to Hardfire 10.
Hey.
Woohoo! What up?
Calm down, Chris Pratt.
Wahoo!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. Is it come or go?
Go. I don't know. I lost interest after
Did
Mushroom
you see
Kingdom.
the thing somebody said that it's exactly Linda Belcher's voice?
Yeah.
And no, I can't unhear that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. And they voice synced it. It's so fucking good.
I love those things where they ruin different songs by saying who it sounds like.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Like Mr. Brightside. Close your eyes and listen. It's just Jerry Seinfeld.
I haven't watched Seinfeld, so that.
Yeah, I think you sent that to me, and I was like, I'm just about familiar enough with Seinfeld that I can hear it, but not familiar enough that it ruined it for me, which I'm very glad of.
Yeah, it's ruined.
But yeah, there's probably a lot of those.
Yeah.
I've seen them
They're
figure
very funny. All right.
Anyway, let's get back into Lethwan, the world of might, magic, and mind flayers. And I'm so glad the cat's finally out of the bag that's a mind flayer you're dealing with and not just a froggy dream wizard.
What? Yeah, it is a froggy dream.
It is.
It is a froggy dream.
I mean, yeah,
He
but
just made himself look like that in the dream.
Yeah, he's a frog. He's
you're
a
gonna
frog
see him
man.
as just a literal frog. Like, it's like Hypnotoad.
Yeah, Hypnotoad. Yeah. Somewhere between Old Greg and Hypnotoad.
It's like an Elden Ring when it's just a snail that has like enslaved multiple spirits.
Oh yeah. Except it's just a frog enslaving dreams for some reason.
Do you know what? Like, this is interesting as well because this is the first time on the podcast we've had an enemy, like an actual someone to go against. It's always just been monsters or challenges
Or like untouchable
or
evil.
untouchable Hoots Force bricks. Yeah,
Yeah, I think everything has been. You've had a lot of like. Axel.
solidly in the rival camp.
Yeah,
Like, we're
Axel's
never going
yeah,
to
sorry,
kill
Axel is-
Axel.
I mean,
is
we,
right,
we
yeah.
literally like sat in a while he was having tea and talking about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
true.
Like
yeah.
no, like the way I look at it is: would society frown if we killed them? If yes, rival camp. If no, enemy.
Yeah,
You know, and this is the first one.
That's fair. Yeah,
Sid does not want. If Conn was like pulling his sword out to kill Axel, Sid would have been like,
Yeah.
whoa.
yeah, for sure. I think I would also be like, oh, this is not how I expected Axel to be picked up here at all.
No. Yeah. We'd be like, oh, do we need to re-record like 5
Stand
episodes?
back, Sid. I'm gonna end his life.
Yeah.
Just like viciously murdering another 17-year-old kid.
Remember, Sid, this could be you. Like that's not us. No, but we will kill this frogman.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of frogmen and why you hate them so much, let's do a roll for recap. Unless, Jim, you just want to do it.
No, I'm not like that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I do need a good.
I got an 18.
I got a 14.
I got a 16.
Wow, my 14 is so lowest.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Do you want me to do it? Because we can have a thing. If you did it last time, you're exempt.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, we've been doing this game the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely been episodes where the same person has done it.
I think there was
in
a
row.
quadruple barrel Sid recap there for a while.
Yeah, I think Sid tends to do them more than anyone.
Yeah. That's why I've started doing them
I
differently.
really like the little. I need to. That's good because I need to come
because
up
I've
with
done
one
so
for
many
Conn.
of them. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like
You're just mentally preparing them every time you sit down to record now.
Yeah. So Conn walks over, and Sid and Fink are at this food stand, and we've just gone into the Na Daoine camp, and they've got like a little food stand where they give out food to each other. I don't know, are they commune type too? Or are they...
I mean, you kind of twisted the realms of what time was in your last one, so I'm
Yeah.
not for you to just say
Okay,
whatever
okay.
here.
Yeah. So no, this is back. Yeah, this is right inside the Na Daoine camp.
Sure.
And
Yes.
instead of doing anything else,
Sid is
and
DMing
Fink see that there's a food stand, and Conn walks over. Sid and Fink are eating their noodles, and he sees this guy that just looks exasperated while Sid has been telling him his life story up to this point. How he's joined a band, ventured about, has a rival, gone up to the mountains, and as he gets there, he's saying,
Yeah, and so there's this dream dude that has been coming into people's minds and like making them see their worst nightmares. But like Conn actually had a talking to with him, so now we're hunting him down. But yeah, so the reason that we've come out this way as of the last episode, also, if you haven't been paying attention, like if you want to read our journal, I would just recommend just going back and, because you're at a weird point. So maybe just listen to a few episodes back to get a good catch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, as of the last episode, the last day,
It was an episode.
We had a talking to with him, and
I love a talking to. I said we sat him down. We had a little bit of an intervention.
well, Conn kind of
Now,
did.
you have to stop. You
Conn
have to
kinda
stop invading people's
He was
dreams.
like,
they
if
don't
people
like
don't
it.
do the, if you don't stop, like, I'm gonna kill you, man. Which is
That
maybe
is
not
what
how
I
you
said.
should talk to children, but that's how he did his talking to. And so, like, we're now gonna go out and kill him, but we thought we would stop by you guys first because we heard that you're, like, in the wrong place, and I know you don't know anything, you're just food vendor guy, but, like, we were gonna figure out, talk to your elders while you're here, and it turns out that there's some beast or something that has been, like, stealing people, so I'm gonna find that out, too. But it's real cool because all you dudes are, like, rockabilly type. And we met your Presley dude, the Elvish Presley guy.
Presley.
And now we're gonna go talk to your leader about stuff.
I had to write their entire culture about how they take in people, but give them these names just so I
pun?
can make that one pun. Yeah,
That's how the best cultures are built. To justify a tiny pun.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that's
Like
fantastic.
our whole social hierarchy is like the cornerstone of it is a pun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much.
You're welcome.
That's how I'm going to do these recaps
Yeah, I
now.
saw your
is
tweet.
Conn coming upon either a journal or
Yes.
Sid
Yeah.
harassing someone.
I think if I have to do it, he's gonna come across like Johnny reading a newspaper or something and
Yeah.
recounting what's happened.
Yeah, my noodle salesman dude. The important thing you need to get out of this, though, is that things are all right with Johnny Cash now. Like, I had a chat with him, and then he spent the evening, like, chatting and drinking with Conn. Like, things aren't, great, but I don't think we're enemies,
Yeah, we're in a
I
somewhat.
like that this guy's not responding. he's just recap man.
Sid's just talking to an
Yeah,
imaginary
I'm half
noodle
thinking
by,
like, do I jump in? I'm like,
No,
I don't want to validate
there's,
this.
There's literally no point in it. It's just for the
He's just trying
recap.
to like slide into the narrative.
At this point, Conn grabs Sid and goes, "Okay."
Yeah, I think
that's an awful lot.
the Elvish Presley comes over. He's like, okay, if you've gotten your food, we can go to Imelda if that's it's okay.
I think that's best. I would give him money, but I have none left, so I just smile apologetically at the guy and move on.
Give me perception checks, please, as we do this. And as you're rolling, I'll kind of give. Okay.
Natural 20. Sorry, I just haven't
Nice.
rolled one in ages.
So what you first notice as Presley brings you into the village is that in general this place is very, very run down. Like the buildings are essentially in total disrepair. Some of them have been kind of like done up a little bit, but the majority of this village is actually now tents and kind of like basically like a camp more than anything.
Yeah.
You would know that it's been about 10 years since the mine has gone dry, probably about 8 or 9 years since they fully abandoned it, and everyone kind of, well, there's no work up here. It's not really like farmland do, so everyone's kind of migrated into the actual town proper, you know? And any kind of buildings over here were maybe like 4-man's huts and kind of like storage, units and things like that for tools and things. So not a whole lot of like residential dwellings. Walk in, again, everyone's in this like really brightly colored rockabilly style. From what you guys have kind of like been told about Na Daoine, what did you get in your perception check?
10.
10. And you got a nat 20.
Natural 20.
Conn, you realize that the amount of tents that you're seeing in this camp and that you haven't seen outside of it doesn't match the amount of people that you would have been expecting for Na Daoine.
In which direction?
There's a lot less
people. Elvish Presley.
What?
You said that people were being taken by a beast or something, is it?
Yeah, that is some perhaps that is what we think. Yeah, not that many. But something else has kind of happened. But please, I think maybe it's better to have Imelda talk to you about this. I mean, kind of going against.
It's not your place.
Well, it's not my place, and kind of going against all protocol. I'm also kind of we don't want people coming in here, if they're not part of the family. Usually we have like people to go outside and greet people, that kind of thing. So I think I should say no more. I'm going to bring you to Imelda, if that's okay.
All right, bring us on to Imelda.
He brings you to one of these buildings, kind of like one of the larger ones. As you're walking through, a lot of people are kind of giving you not evils or anything. They're kind of giving you like why are people looking in? And I'm gonna say with your natural 20 perception check, a lot of people are looking very uneasy and a bit kind of like just as if they don't want to be seen, as if there's something that they're not really too happy about showing in here. It's like vulnerable for them. And that's kind of the feeling that you're getting. And as he brings you into this like small warehouse, a small like storage unit,
yeah,
you see kind of lit by torches and stuff the figure of a woman, who you assume is Imelda, kind of sat on just like there's like a big pile of like furs and things like that have all been propped up. But the unusual thing that you notice is that from about her stomach down is completely stone, as if she's been petrified. And Sid, you would kind of give me an intelligence check with advantage. It's going to be fairly low DC.
13.
Something kind of tickles in the back of your head it's as if it was maybe a transformation or something that stopped partway through. It's kind of the feel that you get from her. And kind of Elvis Presley walks you up. He kind of like gives like a little nod of respect to his leader, like the matron of the family of people that are here. And she's like, how he is? What's the crack? Name's Imelda. You all right?
Hello there, Imelda. My name is Conn Greystone, and this is my
how's it going?
my companion Sid. And this is Melody.
So Sid, culturally, of course, has read about the Na Daoine. And after she greets him like that, he points at her, shakes his hips, and goes, Thank you very much.
Well, you'll excuse me if I don't do the old sacred hip wiggle to say welcome. Are you here to be Presleys? Are we welcoming new members into the clan, or?
No, we're actually
We're both sword.
we are Bow Sword. We're the band, and we're a new band, and we've been sent
What?
over.
You did not say you were a band. I just thought you were like a hunter or something.
Bands can have hunters.
Yeah, like I'm a ranger.
not
I'm
I'm
part
just
of
being
the
mutually
surprised
exclusive.
at every turn. This is awful.
But we just heard that you all had like moved into the area, so we just wanted to check in, make sure everything was all right. This
Aye,
isn't
sir.
typically your area.
She kind of like gives Elvis Presley a bit of like a look, as in like, why have you brought people in?
I think he's in trouble, Sid.
And she kind of looks at you, kind of appreciates that you did the sacred hip wiggle. She kind of like beckons Presley up. And he's like,
And sorry, before you say anything, also he mentioned that there's like a beast stealing people, and I'm a ranger, so thought maybe we could have a look. He's also a beast, a monster hunter.
I've killed a few fucking
Just a
monsters
beast.
in my time. Yeah.
He's a beast.
I
He's
am
a monster
I am
hunter.
also sorry. My name is Conn Greystone, notable beast. I flex.
you see Elvis Presley goes up and he's like, yes, it's true. There seem to know a lot about hunting. We've lost many of our skilled hunters. I think they could be good. I know we're trying to keep to ourselves, but I think they could be good. They could really help us. She kind of like nods a little bit. Just give me just a straight up charisma check, the two of you. It's just to kind of like, she's got an insight just to kind of get a feel for ye.
I got a 9.
Yeah, right. I can see is clearly learned the hip wiggle from like a book or someone told you. No one's shown you how to do it, so I appreciate the effort. It wasn't quite there, but maybe you'll get there in the
My
future.
hips lie.
Yeah, you see our sacred ancestor Shakira. Yeah,
Shakira, ancestor of Elvis. I love it.
She was Shakira Presley when she began.
yeah. You know, she was great, and she kind of like, you know, she always taught us don't lie, and the people who use their hips are always going to be honest. So
Oh, you can trust the people who know the hip shake because the hips don't lie.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what she's talking about, you know.
Oh, that makes sense.
And
Like a secret handshake.
you look, she rolled very well on her inside. You don't look too dodgy.
Conn is taking off his shirt to flex more and stops and puts it back on.
At this, Sid is going to go, also, just to kind of prove who we are, you know, and show like our value. I'm out on my thesis from town and here. And so Sid brings over one of his bookmarks and hands it to her and says, so you may never lose your place in the world.
She takes it. You hand it to her, and you can see that, like, although her arms aren't petrified and aren't made of stone, she is still moving very slowly. And she's like, thanks. Very, very sweet of you. Okay, yeah, you don't look too bad. Look, are you good with that bow? Are you as good a ranger as Presley here says?
He's probably better.
Trained by Herman the Hermit himself. I don't know if anyone would know who he is.
Yeah.
I know who he is now.
Yeah, fortunately that doesn't really mean much to me, but you know, Elvish here is saying good things, and you know, and don't have as many people here as we used to, so I kind of have to look for friends. And we've been keep them to ourselves. And yeah, you're right. We had been kind of not usually supposed to be here. Sid, as well, with your intelligence check, you think back to the footprints and the tracks that you had found on the way. Kind of get that she was probably dragged here.
Dragged there. Yeah.
About a month ago or so, I'd say. No, 6 weeks ago. Something weird happened. Like, just loads of us kind of just got turned to stone instantly.
Oh.
Some of us were lucky enough to. I mean, if you could say lucky, she kind of like looks down at her own half petrified form to survive. But we kind of needed to. You know, we lost about half our number. Aiden, again, you think back to Hovden now that you have your full memories of Hovden kind of back from.
Yeah, I wasn't sure but that was another half completed ritual, wasn't it?
It seems similar enough to that. You think back to Hovden, where there was kind of like a scale of
like
people,
different degrees of
Yeah.
Fischler.
and
Sid
about half.
immediately is going to cringe about giving her the bookmark, and is like, we aren't looking to do any type of experiments or anything like that, by the way, if you've run into that.
Oh no,
Has
nothing like that has come across my way. I mean, he's actually talking about experiments though. There's actually something you might be able to help me with if you're good in nature and stuff. A lot of our hunters and gatherers kind of been lost. They're just statues back in the mountains, in the hills up near the on the way to the giants. But we actually came here because there's this supposedly special plant that grows in the mountains. I only kind of know of it, and I kind of know that's supposed to, you know, being around where there's mines and there's quarries and rocks and stuff that can supposedly has the properties to help against petrification. They're known as the stone roses.
Incredible.
But we sent people up to try and get them. No one's been able to get there. We think we know where the cave should be, but anytime we get close, people are saying they're experiencing like visions and like seeing horrible things.
Hey.
well, we might know something about that.
Yeah. Some edgelord that's like...
Yeah, there's a frogman, and he's been making people see things at night. Calls
Oh,
himself
he's-
Blacker.
Well, I mean, yeah, we kind of, to be honest, we kind of thought that was the whole nightmare thing as well. We kind of put that two and two together, you know? It seems...
Yeah.
I hear it.
Is this something you're aware of? Is you trying to sort him out, or...
Yeah,
I've actually...
He's our next step.
Yeah.
We're going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. But listen, can I ask you some questions?
Yeah, of course.
All right, well, first off, what actually happened? Like, what turned you to stone?
Fuck if I know.
Oh, you just woke up looking slightly more statuesque one day, like, or
basically.
Has anyone tried to heal you? Because I could take a crack at that if you want.
I mean, if you can do that, yeah, that'd be that'd be great.
5 points of lay on hands.
Nothing happens.
I didn't think that was going to work.
We can look for it. I mean, we're heading up that way anyway. Like,
Yeah.
The problem is, though, like, it's forced you guys to move. So, like, you know, even if we find it, like, are you guys even going to be able to go back home, you know?
Well, I mean,
Is it like an antidote you can brew up out of it, or?
hopefully that's what the stories say. Anyway, like we can kind of like brew it, make a kind of like a poultice or a potion or something.
Tea.
Yeah,
A mobility.
Fuck.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
exactly what they
indeed.
called it in the books. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, I mean, like that's the hope. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna take it first as a leader. I'm not gonna let anyone.
Aye, lead
don't
from
wanna
the front.
I'm not gonna put anyone at danger. I'll do it. If it works on me, then hopefully it'll work on the rest of us. But like, look, we don't want to be here. It's weird. We feel confined. It's not what we want. Usually we stop in some place, but not for this long. It's
I can
Kind of-
Sid is having a
I can
real hard
understand
time
that.
not grinning. He's looking down at the fact that the woman turning to stone says she's feeling real confined.
I chose my words well.
And listen, let me ask you this, and then we'll take a crack at this. But you didn't just by any chance you didn't have a wee visitor around the time this happened about this young lad's age? Looks like a right little prick.
Sid waves and smiles.
Yeah, like that.
No, I said this about 6 weeks ago, and you know as well that that's much further back than when Axel kind of came onto the scene.
Yeah.
No, it only kind of weird thing happened was like we were saying, obviously kind of went to the Giants for help because they're good with like stones and stuff that they thought, but they couldn't get into their holy land because suddenly like there's all these kind of like meteorological anomalies and stuff going around.
Nice.
So like, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's something all there, but no lad like you.
All right. Well, so which way? Where would you say this cave is? Is it?
Yeah, so if you go up into like the mountains there, kind of through the forest, you'll get it. I mean, you're a ranger, and she kind of like she has like a book, so like another like purpleism book.
Hey,
Shit. And she like
Sid loves books.
She like shows you the page of the stone roses, and she kind of gives you the description of kind of where they're said to be found. Like we don't know like an exact location, but like we know the general area that they're in. It's kind of a bit of a hard climb. Some of our lads, she kind of looks at Elvish Presley. Some lads aren't the best at the whole moving around thing.
So, question
That's
for
tough.
you.
That's
Like,
tough criticism coming from
your
a woman
people-
whose legs are stone.
your people that have gone missing, is it when they're going up to the stones, roses?
You see, that's another thing that's kind of throwing this whole thing off. To be honest, it's we thought it was bad enough that half of our people turned to stone, or some of them.
You lads are having a mare of a time.
Fucking absolute head wreck, so it is, I'll tell you that. But then we get here and everyone starts having nightmares, and we're all like, well, yeah, of course we're having fucking nightmares. We just lost half our lads. Everyone's mourning and grieving, but like these are weird. And then some people have just gone. Honestly, at first I didn't blame them. I thought they just left and wasn't going to say anything because people are free to come and they're free to go. I'm not known here as a holding anyone else, and that's how we live. Everyone does what they can, but if they don't want to do it anymore, they can go. No harm, yeah. But that's what we thought. Then Presley here has found some seen some weird marks and stuff around. So I don't know. He kind of thinks it's like a mountain lion or something like that, but I'm not anything
Mountain lion.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of the only thing. Like, there's like rumors and stuff like monsters in the mountains and things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. You never know nowadays. We kind of keep to ourselves, and we have a big group of people. It kind of gives us safety. Most hunters and stuff like that kind of just tend to go for the single traveler, but in a group, their strength.
What do you guys normally like eat around here? Like, do you do a lot of hunting?
We do some hunting, yeah. We don't tend to settle, so we're not growing crops and stuff. We tend to hunt, we tend to forage, but like, she looks at Elvish. most of our hunters are kind of, unfortunately, we're lost. But we
Probably
kind of
grabbing like the wild boar and like some of the
yeah,
deer.
kind of, and like it's not. We've been here too long. We're kind of, I'm afraid of kind of what we're doing to the resources and stuff here. It's been too long. Yeah, I know there's only like 70, 80 of us left, but like it's not as much as we would. But we've been here too long. I think we're doing too much damage. We want to keep moving. We don't want to,
Yeah, like
excuse the pun, but a rolling stone gathers no moss.
wow.
Ash, if you can't laugh, what will you do?
Low-key checking for moss on it.
Sid kind of nudges, scoldingly nudges Fink as Fink is turning his lower legs to stone.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So that's concerning. Just if you think it's like a mountain lion type, and you've been doing a lot of hunting, and it is like mountain area,
Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna have a look.
If you could, that'd be great. Honestly, it's not my specialty, not really anyone's specialty around here at the moment. So I mean, like, if there's anything you can do, and it's kind of, otherwise I'd be telling you to get out in your arse and kind of leave us at our own business. But we're kind of in a shit situation. So if you can help us out, I mean, honestly, the best thing would be getting the sun roses for us. That'd be class.
Right, well, that's what we'll do then, is it?
Yeah, we'll see
And
what we can do.
you can keep an eye. You can do some of your ranger bullshit and see if you can't find this monster along the way.
Wow, using that kind of terminology, huh? Jesus, thought we were better than that.
Sorry, I'm severely hungover.
Okay, so here's how this encounter is going to work.
Right into it.
Okay.
Essentially, right, what the stakes are, because it's kind of, you guys didn't take a horse here or a carriage or anything like that, so we're probably, I'd say you got an early start, but it's probably midday or so at this time. You would know particularly, say, that dusk and nighttime is when a lot of, not even just monsters, but like, hunting
cougars
animals and
come out.
predators would come out to hunt, Basically, I'm going to set you a series of tasks or like checks to be able to get up to where these stone roses are. You basically will know how to get there in the general direction you're going, but depending on the checks will determine if there is a monster encounter or not.
Okay.
Okay. So you might be able to avoid this, but if you guys start taking wrong turns, can't keep up with the pace long enough, then maybe something is going to attack, essentially. Okay. So first thing we're going to need to do is a group constitution check just to see, can you guys set a good pace? Like, it's quite simple at the start, just to try and set a good pace to kind of, get the hike going. So give me constitution checks. Melody's going to be part of this too. Fink's going to be part of this too. We need to get at least 40 as a group.
Now hold on.
Okay, if you're going to ranger, I'm happy to with ranger bullshit too. Yeah.
Just the fact that my allies and I are not slowed at all by difficult terrain and cannot get lost except by magic.
Interesting. So this isn't necessarily difficult terrain that's slowing you. This is the fact that you need to set a fast pace. So this isn't the fact that you are stopping going slow. This is to keep you going fast, if that makes sense. But the not getting lost will definitely come into it and will probably completely invalidate one of these challenges for sure. But yeah, so we'll go with the constitution checks. 14 for Melody.
19 on the dice for
Nice.
Conn brings it to a 24. There's half your check.
That is literally half the check. I don't think, unless we get nat ones from both Sid and
12 from Sid.
you've passed.
Nice.
Pretty easy to get going. It's just kind of like, when you're going on a hike yourself and you're like, okay, like let's kind of not
You
dawdle at the start.
Yeah,
you
burst
set
of
the
energy at the start.
set the pace.
Conn is
and
going
go for it.
to set a march.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Next,
While I'm doing this, I'm activating my primeval awareness as I'm going.
what does primeval awareness do again? Remind me.
So by concentrating for 1 minute, I know if any of my favorite enemies are within 5 miles. So per group, I sense the number, general direction, distance, and type of favorite enemy. What I am looking for in as flavor for this, and not really flavor, but just what Sid is doing in this, is I know with the time of the year, because we've kind of talked, a couple times about, being more like summertime-ish.
Yeah, it's like early summer, late spring at the moment.
Yeah. So it's highly likely that if this is a mountain lion, that it would have given birth recently, which means that it will have picked a den somewhere.
Okay.
And the fact that it's attacking people, being a cougar, they really are surprise type hunters. So the only way that they would be doing this is if it's desperation because a lot of the other things have been hunted out, and it's desperation
Ryan
while they're
outplanning
getting
the DM here.
I was going to say, like, we should just release this section as an ad for the podcast and see how many hunters we can get listening to it.
But it means that the den must be nearby. And so I'd be trying to steer clear of paths that it would be taking around the den.
You know what? Perfect. Give me either a survival or perception check, your own choice, with advantage now because you're using that. You're kind of, using senses. I was going to say originally the DC was 18. I'm going to lower that to 15 for that now, because it still might be hard to find an actual trail that doesn't go past these things.
Cool. My passive perception is 15. So
Ooh wee!
That's 2 successes.
That's 2 you've just going to have negated now, isn't it?
Okay, so what has happened, you've kind of like walked up you've approached the mountain and kind of like the mountain path. What you've done now is you've successfully kind of like plotted your course, and to know, okay, I know that there's probably some sort of den nearby. And with your primal awareness, you are spotting a lot of like general wildlife and animals. Do you get to know the types of it with that? So do I literally have to tell you there is a mountain lion or something similar?
yeah, I get the
X
number.
amount of meters away.
I get per group. I sense the number, general direction, distance, and type of favored enemy.
You, funnily enough, and this is beasts, right?
Yeah.
Correct. You, funnily enough, do not find anything about any mountain lions at all.
Ooh. Okay.
And you also notice, it's not quite like Daredevil Red Sight where you're kind of seeing everything, but you're getting a general kind of like idea of the landscape in your mind as you're kind of just like attuning to nature, and as you're walking by, and you kind of like locate in that like inner sense an area where there's like a dead zone,
Like an absence of animals.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is probably it. This
Okay.
is the direction we need to go. If there's something fucking weird happening, it's probably going to be happening here, where animals seem to be actively avoiding.
Okay.
Next, I need. This is gonna be a Sid check, I think. You need to give me a nature check. This is to find out basically where the stone roses might be, and like, are the two things connected, and does that make sense kind of from the book that you have, and that the notes that Imelda has given you? Does that
Instead of a nature check, can I use my herbalism kit check?
I'm gonna say herbalism is more for the gathering and collection of it. This is like fully just knowing it.
Disappointed.
I will give you advantage on it though, because you have like the notes and you can refer to your book and the notes and stuff.
Okay.
I can't let you away with everything.
15 on the first one. Nat 20.
Fuck.
The second one.
Jesus.
Why did you give us a natural based challenge? He was always going to do this.
Because the DCs were quite high for some of these. Like that was a DC 18. That was going to be relatively tough because I knew nature was kind of his strong suit, but like
No, this dude
18
can
is-
track the fucking wind over yesterday's rock.
For those at
yesterday's
home,
wind against rock.
for those at home that are like, oh, it's Ryan's dice that he always uses. I actually changed the dice that I used this time.
It's true. I've been admiring the new set. I'm using Christmas dice.
okay. Fucking hell, we're just steamrolling through this encounter, I guess.
I love that Conn and Melody are probably like, where are we? Everything's looking the same. And Sid's like, just this way, come on.
We've passed that tree before. I know we have. It's got leaves
We're going
and
in
roots.
circles. We're going in circles, Con. You come across now a more of like a rougher part of the terrain. Your ranger bullshit can't stop you now. You're all going to need to give me athletics checks to try and like physically climb up this like kind of small cliff face and like mountainscape. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ.
If it helps, I
Just
rolled a 3 on the
another
dice,
natural 20.
but that goes to 11. So
Okay. I will say we're going to roll them all. With that natural 20, I will let you then give essentially the help action to someone else so someone can roll with advantage and we'll see kind of who has done the worst and maybe needs it.
okay.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Melody. They rolled a 5.
Oh,
and
shit.
Yeah. Basically, so the checks for this is 18, again, is a success. 14 counts as 1 failure. Anything less than a 10 counts as 2 failures.
Okay.
You don't want to get 3 failures. So let's see what Fink gets.
Woo. 5.
5. Okay.
You got short legs.
Yeah.
You can. So that is like 5 failures that we're looking at, but you can choose one person to give advantage to. Or if there's some random bullshit skill, I've kind of expected some sort of bullshittery.
Can I use
So
an
hit me with
action
what you have.
surge and go again?
Interesting. I really like that. Yes, you can use action surge to do that for
Sick as
sure.
fuck. Oh. It's the exact same.
Okay.
No, sorry, it's a 4, so it's gonna 1. It doesn't change the outcome though.
No, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
a 12. Yeah.
I use like a huge burst of strength to jump off the edge of a rock, but it actually just breaks the rock and pushes it down, so I end up in the same place.
So
Oh, I have a thought.
okay.
I'm going to have...
So just so you're aware, you will still get past this, but this is kind of like the speed, because the whole thing is you're against the clock and you're against nightfall here at the moment.
So if he goes into air form, then does he have any benefit from it?
Yeah, I will say that kind of because he's, his movement speed increases when he's in air form. He can like jump more and stuff like that. I'd say you can re-roll it and you can do it as a dex check or an acrobatics check, whatever, and you can use that to go up.
If Conn goes into air form, can he change it to a text?
No.
He's out of breath.
Actually, what was you got a 12?
It was a 4. Yeah, 12.
Melody is going to Bardic
Oh shit! Yes,
you,
that's nice because I absolutely wasted that action, sir.
and that will get you over the. They roll quite poorly, but that'll get you to
the
instead of
next.
being to the next level of success. Yeah,
Cool.
What's that? That's neutral, isn't it? It's not.
so that's only one failure.
Yeah, cool.
16.
Nice.
Think
Okay, and then I'm assuming you want to give Melody the advantage. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 again.
It's very satisfying. What's up with the rerolls being the same? in
I
this?
don't know.
Like-
Very odd. So you guys, it takes you a while to get up there.
Are you happy? One of your challenges hindered us.
Yes, I am happy.
Sid is so annoyed looking down at all you guys.
You sitting and Fink just kind of like whoop, absolutely just dart up there like, it's just another game to them, like easy peasy. Leaving poor Conn and Melody like struggling, like
Slow down, please.
Okay, here's the one that's going to, because you guys are on 3 failures.
You said what? We didn't want to get 3 failures, all right?
Yeah, so you're on
Oh, we're on the cusp.
on the
of
cusp,
The badness.
and this is the last check.
It all comes down to this, Melody.
You are going to need to give me stealth checks, as you know from your kind of like you're kind of approaching where, and it's both approaching the time of day and night where things might start coming out, and you're approaching more like less
Poor visibility.
poor visibility. It's less you're further away from humanity and civilization and stuff. So everyone give me stealth checks just to kind of like
We're in
Constantly.
flavor country now.
to navigate your way through flavor country. Okay. Melody is very good at stealth, not so good at climbing.
How's Conn at stealth?
17 on that.
Oh yeah, nice. 18. That's 2 18s in stealth checks
So we
in a
need
row.
a 60 altogether.
It's 21 for Sid.
Holy Maloney.
I rolled an 11 on that. And that's... or sorry.
I should have-
No, it's a 20. Sorry.
I should have
That's a
beefed
plus-
these
plus
numbers way up.
In fairness, me doing well on a stealth check is obscure.
Yes, it was quite unlikely.
Yeah.
And Fink.
And Fink, I think Fink needs a 3.
Okay, well, he rolled a 16. He gets a plus 9 as well. So it's a 25.
Yeah. You guys just
We slip out of the DM's notice.
Sid and Fink lose themselves.
Yeah.
you guys, Sid, you just expertly kind of like now that like the tough part of like a climb was, has kind of passed. You guys, you really kind of like nail exactly how to move. Kind of Conn and Melody now Melody for sure, like really having an appreciation of kind of like watching you now fully in your habitat, like
I look how close to the ground he
the way
sticks.
when maybe what people saw Conn fighting and stuff, like now they see you doing what you do best.
It's as if he's fighting the opponent's awareness.
And so they just follow you like to a T. You really kind of like coach them through what you need to do. You approach what, according to like all of your checks and all of your knowledge and kind of what Elvish and Imelda have said should be like a cave where they expect these stone roses to be. There is nothing. It just looks like a cliff wall. Give me nature checks. Not one for
Got a -1 though, so 16.
13 for...
Give me a perception check for Fink for smell, so you can take advantage.
Nice.
Or tell me what his passive perception would be.
His passive perception is 17.
Yeah, of course it is. Like, why wouldn't it be? You get to this like kind of mountain path area, which you, and particularly Conn, you've done a lot of traveling, and you've probably looked for caves for where monsters go, and you kind of like, this seems very much like a cave. It's very odd that there's nothing there. Fink kind of just goes like proper bloodhound mode, like starts like sniffing all over there, like Fink, and like goes right up to the cliff where you'd expect a cave to be, and kind of just licks his tongue out, and his tongue goes through the cave.
Fink's developed a new ability. He can lick through walls.
Conn, I don't know if that's what's happening, but maybe. Yeah, so there's a path there. Before we go in there, Sid is probably aware at this point that something has been somewhat stalking them.
Has it been stalking
Especially
us,
with
though?
how good the rolls were.
I think because the rolls were so good, maybe it hasn't been. But Sid would know.
I don't think Sid gets give me an insight check for Sid.
16.
What's weird for Sid is all of his instincts are saying something should be stalking him. That everything is pointed to some sort of natural beast, a natural predator. Everything that you said earlier makes sense to Sid. And what's getting your hackles raised so much is that is not the case. That you are not being hunted, that you're not being stalked. And that's really what's throwing you and giving you like a weird feeling around the face, because everything's quite unnatural.
Okay.
And-
With that, then, just to kind of test something,
Sure.
I'm going to take out the ration bowl. And
Okay.
D&D rations have these little wheat, like, breaded things. They've got, like, more than just bread. Kind of like a gruel thing that you're supposed to, like, put in water and you can make a stew
Have
thing
you
out
just
of it.
been spending the last
I'm like
couple
Sid,
of
I
weeks
read a lot.
just like learning how to be a survivalist?
Yeah. I felt like that was the only way to play, like, into Ranger bullshit.
It's working. I love
I'm
it.
going to put that with some of, like, the water, gruel stuff that we have to make kind of like a little, I'm not heating it or anything, but just I'm going to leave it in a bowl out on a rock because it would make a kind of, like, milky type substance in there. And it's actually in the D&D rations, this little, like, hard wafer things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're mushing it up.
Yeah.
Maybe put some spice in there for smell.
Yeah, maybe.
I wish the camera was on so y'all could see what Dylan was doing right now. He's being exceedingly thoughtful for the past 20 seconds.
Trying to figure out what have I fucked up now?
Fiercely trying to remember the stats for a monster.
Or if it likes milk. Not really milk. It's like a gruel type thing.
Everyone give me wisdom saving throws.
Uh-oh. Thanks, Ryan. 11.
That's 5 for Sid.
What? Really?
Yeah, I rolled a 3.
Oh, I'm so unused to you rolling poorly. It comes as a genuine shock to me. Like,
What did Fink get? Fink will roll this with advantage.
Okay. A natural 20.
go back to the old dice.
Fucking hell.
We're wasting my nat 20s. Well, not really. I feel like these are good. Like,
I wasted a good 19 on a stealth check Dylan didn't ask me to make last episode.
Suddenly,
Your favorite word.
hey, whispering out, Iris comes.
all of you see. So you're kind of like just a bit in front of this
Cave.
illusory cave entrance thing, you know, kind of like crawling down the side of the mountain over where it would be. You see this like monstrous, huge lion, like a lion that's like preternaturally big. It is like 4 times the size of a normal lion.
Oh,
What did you do?
Kind of like similar to kind of like in size as like the chimeras and stuff that you guys have fought, you know, like monstrous. As you all kind of like reel back, start preparing, like for people at home, they've literally started picking up their dice and stuff to roll initiative. You see that this comes down. Fink still at the illusory door with his like weird long rat tongue,
yeah.
looks up at it, licks it, and his tongue just goes through it.
It's illusory too. It's just a loser lion.
Oh, it's a fake lion.
It's a fake line that Fink was able to see. And you hear from this cave, your primeval awareness knows that there's no monsters, no beasts in this area.
Conn doesn't.
There's
know
nothing. You hear like a feral kind of growl coming from inside.
I'm going to maybe take my little bowl of stuff and maybe like peek through the door. Is that an okay idea? Or maybe I should just slide it through? What do you think?
Well, you can't see what happens if you. My vote would be for poke a stick through, but that's my vote with everything. I would say slide it. Like sliding it through is a safe option, but you can't see the result.
Also, it's probably rock. Probably don't slide that well.
Yeah, that's very true. What if you roll up one of those incredible stealth checks and you poke your head in from one side and I'll just toss the bowl in from the other side, and then
Fink,
you can
what
see.
are you smelling inside there?
Fink rushes, kind of comes over to you, does a little bit of like an interpretive dance that kind of gives you the idea of human, but not quite human. Similar enough to kind of the same way that he described like all the Mr. Fishters in Hovden. That kind of like, it's a human, but slightly changed and somehow.
Hardly
Hey,
our
Conn,
froggy
there's-
friend.
It's like maybe another fish person, but I doubt it. Like somebody's been messed with inside there. Like,
All right. Well,
but you know what? If they aren't, they probably still need food, and we got some rations here.
aye. Well, look, if you don't think it's
As you guys are having this discussion, you see that like this illusion of the
rockfish.
lion.
the
Oh, the lion.
mountain lion is like snarling and like putting on this huge show to like get away, you know, but like you are so aware it's an illusion now, and it's like slashing at you and like, you know, doing, but like very much nothing's happening, and you guys have been able to like dismiss it, but you're getting the feeling that like someone has desperately put up defenses of some sort to be left alone.
All right. I'm gonna walk up to the illusory wall, and I'm just going to announce. All right, look, whoever's in there, I don't want to intrude on your space, but unfortunately, there are some plants in this cave that we absolutely need to get. So I'm coming in. I mean, absolutely no harm, and I'll cause you no harm. So let's try and keep this somewhat civil, will we? And if we can help you at all, we'll try our hardest.
Are you bringing the food in?
Yes.
Do you, if you
Yeah, big
offered the
time.
food,
Yeah.
give me a persuasion check with
I
advantage.
have some lovely food here for you too. Is that not cocked?
That's not cocked. That's not cocked. Nah.
Is that cocked?
It's not cocked.
It's leaning against it.
Yeah, but it's a 20.
Not a 20.
It is a 20.
It is a 20. It's a reindeer.
The reindeer and the
Oh.
Christmas dice. The reindeer are.
The amount of nat 20s in this episode.
Yeah.
You like very tenderly, kind of like cautiously walk through this illusory cave door.
Food first.
Food first.
Yeah.
And you are met with a vision. Not a vision, like an actual, like, you see.
I saw a lion as well.
There's a lot. I was like, oh no, I don't want to use potentially ambiguous language here.
I bear witness unto.
You bear witness unto a figure of a girl in like old, tattered rags and furs. What's very weird about her though is that her skin is like a weird, unnatural greeny pink. Like it just doesn't look natural. She's got elves, like kind of elven ears, but then the legs of what we at the table would know as a satyr, and maybe that Conn would know as like the legends of one, not one that you would see, but like those kind of like cloven legs.
Yeah.
And she is just like wordlessly like snarling and like kind of like retreating back as if she's like a wild animal, like kind of like like
Hold on. I put up my hands. I put the food down very gently. And from
she
you.
like desperately looks between like you and the food, and like
Aye, that's for you. I'll kick it over to her.
she like just instantly starts eating.
Aye, look again. Can you understand me?
She nods.
Are you one of the other crowd?
She
The what?
The other crowd are what like Conn and his buddies would have called the Fae. They're the other crowd, and like they were kind of like almost legendary. We don't believe in them, like right?
Yeah. No,
But
like
we'd recognize it as
Fae and stuff would be very much treated the same way that we treat fairy
Fairies,
tales and
yeah.
fairies and stuff. Like no evidence for them.
Oh,
Some
yeah,
people
and
tell stories and legends of them, but like seeing a satyr, fucking wild.
Yeah, but sorry, and the other crowd is just flavor. I went to see an Irish storyteller the other day, and he referred to the fairies as the other crowd, and I was like, "That's fucking class. That's what I'm gonna call the Fae." Sid, this can't be happening. They're not real.
Well, I mean, they look real. And she can understand us, right? Hello.
Hi, sorry. Hi, my name is Conn Greystone, and this is my companion Sid, and this is Melody. Don't worry about him. He's actually a lot friendlier than he looks, and I point at the rat.
You see that she kind of like looks at you, and it's weird, but you all like as you're kind of like introducing each other, she kind of like, you know, you're with your nat 20 persuasion, kind of looks at you all, and you see like a vision of a rising sun.
Is that your name? Are you
Sid comes up.
Sunrise?
Sid comes up and puts his hand on Conn and is like,
No, like, this is like how we craft our last names in town. These images, you know, these feelings.
Yeah, aye.
This is what emits who she sees herself as a person.
So Conn doesn't get the depth that
And like
he's
the sun like glows a little warmer at that.
Conn doesn't get it, and he's like, "Aye, so she's called Sunrise."
She's not, but if it's okay with you, in our tongue, is it okay if we refer to you as Sunrise?
She nods.
And because these words are how we, you know, depict our emotion. Like, it's not her name, but it's like the best we can do at it.
All right, that I'm not gonna lie, that it'll take me a little time to get my head around that, but yeah, okay. We're not here to hurt you. We're looking for some herbs. What are you
I'm going
doing
to take
here?
out the picture of the herbs
Yeah.
that I have.
Another vision shows of her walking deeper into the cave, and like, you know, having seen some of these herbs.
Oh, nice.
Right, well, that's informative. Why can't you do that?
That's what I try and do with my book.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Does she look injured?
She doesn't look injured. The best way I can describe this is, you know, in Jumanji when Robin Williams comes out of the game
Yeah.
and has just clearly been living in the wild for years,
Yeah.
that's what she looks like.
All right. Okay.
You do notice though that when she's been kind of like scuttling back, she's favoring one leg a lot more, but she doesn't have it's not like a fresh wound or anything. She kind of just looks like she maybe has like a little bit of a limp or doesn't have full use of one leg for whatever reason.
Well, even more so then, I'm going to take out one of those leaves that I have and the herbalism teas that I got last episode.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take out my thermos and I'm going to make a little thing of tea with the...
Hold on.
You
don't.
see the vision of like a mother bird feeding her baby birds.
Hold on. Very quickly. Conn's going to take out an old wooden army mug and pour it into that instead of the, I'm assuming, steel thermos that you have, like the metal one.
Oh,
I just from the stories, these guys, you don't like iron and steel, right?
At the mention of iron and steel, you are shown the vision of another cave, but you recognize it as what would be like a mine. And as you see that, you also then see like a big cycle of images of other animals in distress, in fear, kind of like being hunted, that type of thing, as like that's her like response to iron, but
the mining
in the context of a mine.
Yeah, Sid gets that. You know, Sid's from a commune and Sid's a ranger. So yeah, Sid feels very sad. You know, she would recognize on Sid's face absolute understanding and sadness that comes from that. Yeah, Sid takes the wooden mug then and walks toward her. I absolutely know how you feel about what mankind is capable of.
As you say mankind, she like shows you the vision of a man and then like shakes her head.
Did I see that vision too?
Yeah.
Can I?
She's like kind of like just outwardly projecting
She's pulsing image.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Did he look like a frog?
She looks at you quizzically.
I go and hold my fingers Zoidberg style.
As you do that in like the style of the Mind Flayer, she like a mixture of sorrow and fear and disappointment and loss and loneliness comes over her. Like kind of just like she's not civilized. She's not trying to hide emotions. Like you are visibly seeing all of these emotions like wash over her, you know? And she's showing you like imagery of like nature that might like kind of like also like convey those emotions.
Would it be like a shriveling tree or would it be like murder, you know, chopping down a tree?
Both.
You
know, the best way you can kind of get a feel for it is it will be the feeling that a bird would have seeing the tree that they had nested in being chopped down. Or a cubs being separated at birth for whatever reason. Or, you know, that comes through a lot. This kind of like separation of
anxiety almost.
Yes, but of young. Comes true a lot.
Is there a certain webcomic that you read?
No.
Okay. About a mind flayer that takes in a rabid fae?
Oh yes, but no.
Okay.
That's maybe a nice little
I was like, button. Do I know this plot already?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I look at her and I go, do you know them? Are you familiar with...
You see the strength and the power in which she like pulses these is like a lot stronger now. Like there's a lot of emotion going into these, you know? She shows you a vision of spring.
I love spring.
The sun rising and setting here in the mountains, but you notice that it's rising in the west and setting in the east. And you see these kind of days go by, and you realize that time's flowing backward. It shows you the image of a winter's day, then autumn, then summer, back to spring. This cycle continues just around 8 times. Winding back the clock of seasons, a vision of colours all blending together in like a blur as leaves raise from the ground, withered and dead, turn healthy and green before shrinking back down into buds on the leaves. The trees themselves, growing slightly shorter as this happens. The scene shifts. You see Stone's Reach, not quite the same as it was, a little bit smaller. You see posters in the village. The royal decree. In the name of public safety, any and all monster sightings to be reported to your local representative, and Lethwan's mightiest heroes, the Hoots Force, will be summoned for immediate dispatch. The scene shifts. You see the side of a face, as if you were being held to like the chest of a giant, your head resting on their shoulder. But this is no giant. You recognize the face of someone, of this person. You recognize this as Vanny, but 8 years younger. You realize that you're seeing a vision from the perspective of a child. You overhear 2 voices, one being Vanny's and the other you recognize as Aaron's. Love, you've seen the posters all over the place. You've seen the changes that happen to them both. We can't keep hiding them anymore, and I'll be damned if I call out these Hoots Force people to. And you see that he is also holding a child. And you see through this vision, child's maybe 2 years old, and you see in this like mysterious kind of clarity of the vision that the skin of this other child has the slightest tinge of purple to it. The vision shifts and you see the backs of Vanny and Aaron walking away in what you recognize now to be the mountain forest surrounding the old mining village. The vision turns and you see through Sunrise's eyes, looking at her twin brother, anger and fear in his eyes as his lips quiver as he cries. You see the beginnings of tentacles there. You see the seasons pass, and one day a hunter comes upon them in the wilderness. They've shot some game animal and are tracking the place to where it fled, a small forest cave where twins were living, surviving with whatever powers they've developed. You see the hunter approach. Bewildered, you understand that this hunter seems to be tracking blood into the cave and seem to be going through the same thing that you guys have just done. There's an illusionary wall protecting them, but they haven't gotten rid of the blood. And as the hunter goes through the cave, you see that the hunter looks at them, screams in fear and horror, and looses an arrow, shrieking towards the girl. The vision through Sun's eyes looks down, and you see an arrow piercing her leg. The eyes look up, and the hunter is screaming again, but this time in pain, as the twin, as Be'lakor, feasts upon his first mind. A couple of days pass, and the vision shifts. You hear multiple people, a search party maybe for the missing hunter you might put together in your head. You see that the twins bicker and fight. You hear Be'lakor's voice in your mind as she's projecting visions to him. You see that they depart. The girl, Sunrise, going into the mountains. Be'lakor descending. The vision ends.
Sid just sits down and cries.
She openly weeps as well.
This is a... I turn to Melody. Melody, did you see that?
Yeah.
Vanny and Aaron?
And you realize that a couple of times, Vanny constantly seems to be very, very protective of Hector and has referred to him many times as her little miracle. And you might put together that this was so long ago. Like, these are not... This girl is a lot older than Hector would be. Hector's only maybe
no,
five.
No. Hector came along after. Yeah, no, for sure.
This was 8 years ago, and you said they were like 2, so she's like a 10-year-old girl.
I made a joke about killing kids at the start of this, and then spent the whole episode threatening to kill a child.
Means that Be'lakor is like 10 years old too.
He's 10 years old. Yeah.
Sid realizes he still hasn't handed her the tea. So, vitality.
She accepts it.
Yeah. So, did you know that your brother is like actively like tormenting people back in town as well?
She nods. She shows again through a vision. She shows you again the clock of the sun winding backwards to about 6 weeks ago, and she shows you a vision of a lake and a large stone hitting the center and these huge ripples going out. And then she shows you a vision of Bellacore. And then she starts showing nightmares that she has had.
So
He's even turned against.
No,
her.
his own stuff is just rippling out. It's affecting everyone. Like whatever he's doing. He's not. There's no way he would intend to do it to her.
She shows you that first big scene again, and she shows you the part where he is feasting on the guy's mind, and then she kind of like stops it and like basically like enhance zoom, and you see like
He's loving it.
he's loving it, and she shows you again the scene where they split and the visions that, you know, the voice inside his mind, like her mind from him, you're getting of how he wants to stop and fight them and kill them for approaching. And she's showing visions of a deer running away from a hunter or fleeing some sort of predator.
Sunrise. Do you believe that he could be turned from this path?
She sends a vision of, she shows that vision of her going up, but this isn't a vision of what's happened. This is more again the emotions of it, and it's of her going up and him descending and descending and descending and descending and descending.
Do you believe he's too far gone? Is he too far down to?
She nods her head.
Oh,
Okay.
Sid turns to Fink and goes,
see? It's like you with donkeys. You need to stop eating them. Because it doesn't matter if you got a taste for it. You just go down that dark path, man.
How, out of character, how quickly do mind flayers mature? It's very quickly, isn't it? These aren't
Oh, we
mind
can't
flayers
metagame
in
that.
yeah.
no metagaming.
I'm not even trying to metagame. I'm just trying to.
The vision that appeared
Because
to
Conn spoke to this guy as an adult.
yes,
And he
and
acted like an adult.
the vision he appeared that he showed to you, like when he showed you his form,
yeah.
very much an
Like
adult. Like
he
he
was-
was of equal standing and stature to you.
That's why I ask. Like he's
Might have magic.
in age, he's a
like-
child. But I mean, like it's the same with, you know, some of the other
It's the same way
species,
if an elf
you know?
was 24, they'd still be a
They're a
child.
child. Yeah. Whereas they be an adult.
Like,
But
yeah, he may have only been born 10 years ago, but is he a child?
Yeah.
how many
And
lives has he lived in other people's heads as well? You know?
And does she look like a 10-year-old?
it's very hard to tell.
Because she's naive and innocent kind of vibe. to it,
Naive and
right?
innocent vibe. She's got satyr legs, elven ears. Like,
Where it sticks to stones. Like you can't. It's,
you can't, like, you only because she showed a vision of 8 years ago would you have any sort of age. She could look like she's 30. You don't know.
yeah. It's like trying to fucking guess a bird's ability to fly by looking at fish swimming.
Yes, exactly. It's completely different.
Hmm.
Whatever the best way you can get it, whatever mutation event has happened, affected them completely differently for whatever reason. It's like their powers seem to be similar but opposite.
Yeah.
Where
she's pulsing pleasant sensations and images, and he's taking and leaving fear in its place.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Conn gets it now.
Conn, you go back to the conversation you had with him and how he is obsessed with taking and understanding loss and craving those emotions that go with it.
Mm.
And how that's how he wants to feast and feed.
Whereas she's, yeah. Sunrise is. Do you think there's anything we can do short of killing him that'll stop him?
You see a vision of Ryan, you're the big wilderness nerd at the moment. Is there any animals that, like, say if a cougar or a mountain lion attacked that would, like, gang up on it to drive it off or kill it.
Coyotes.
You see that.
Cool. Sid turns to Conn and goes, yeah, basically the idea is, man, and this is everything I don't want, which is basically get all the angry townspeople humming. Take him down. Like a pack of coyotes bringing down a...
All right, well, that's a level of brutality we won't go down.
She kind of looks like, hears you say that and shakes her head. And again, she kind of does similar kind of visions, but it's more on the line of the emotion of there is an attacker.
Desperately, it's life or death.
People need, it's, if they don't fight back and kill it, they will be killed. It's kill or be killed. You get that like
I got you.
raw
Basically,
sense of,
she's saying that
raw
it's-
sense of nature, as in this is the mountain lion evil for killing the coyotes? Are the coyotes evil for killing the mountain lion? But there's killing happening.
The other crowd are primal and they're wild, and no offense, Sunrise, but they deal with things and they have somehow less and more nuance at the same time than we would. But from what I know is they do tend to be kind of black and white and stuff like this. This is a problem
Sunrise.
that needs to go away.
Sunrise, would the correct image maybe be a rabid mountain lion?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Probably
know,
wouldn't have experienced that, so I'm trying to bit myself as hard as I can or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that says what we got to do, Conn.
Absolutely. It's not
Sunrise,
pleasant.
we've been talking about a lot of depressing stuff. And I know you've been trapped here and haven't seen a lot of the world. How would you like to see some pictures of other animals out in the world? I bring out my big old book.
I get a sense of her eyes rolling.
And I let her flip through the pages and look at all the pictures of the animals.
yeah, you see she's completely like fascinated,
Loving
like
it.
awed, by it. And like you're seeing like she starts like making visions appear of the animals and drawings that she's seeing, and like, in a very like kind of like
Of Sid's incredible drawings.
in a
skills.
very
Stick figures dancing around the cave.
in a very Fae-like playful, not a child like a mischievous kind of playful, like they're all like she's sending visions like nip at you, but in like a friendly, in the way that cubs would nip at each other and
Yeah.
things like that,
So is he further in the cave then?
She
No,
again,
I got the sense he went down into the mine, whereas
Down
she
into the
went
mine.
up the mountain. So whereas
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was like heightening her abilities and senses and becoming this positive force, the further he lost himself, he was dropping down.
Well, we still
Dylan's
need to
being
go-
very...
I'm being very on the nose here.
We do
The
need to
metaphor
go-
is very heavy-handed, I will admit.
I thought it was good.
Con, we
It
do
needs to be
still need to
heavy-handed.
go into her cave and get some of those flowers.
Yes.
I think that I got the sense that was just like 20 feet back.
Yes.
Into the cave, yeah. Maybe...
Yeah, you can 100% do that.
Cool. Well, we go get them.
Aye.
You go get them, and that is where we will leave that episode.
Nice.
Intense. I love how we're getting the curtain pulled back a bit on how these mutations and stuff are. Like, we don't know how they're happening, but like now we can see that these two were humans, or should have been humans, but were born as Fae, or born into this world as Fae or something,
Also,
So like we're getting some kind of peek behind the veil here a little bit on what's going on in Na Daoine, which is nice.
yeah. Also, fuck the Hoots Force.
Fuck the Hoots Force, right? Out of everything, that's
That's the main
because they
takeaway.
are...
Fuck the Hoots Force.
I think the Hoots Force are doing this. I think this is their fault because they know they fucked up, and now they're like, if you see one of our fuck ups, come tell us so we can stomp it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Jim's working theory.
I love to hear it.
Conn's not smart enough to work that out yet.
Hmm.
That's Jim's working theory.
Well, guys, if you're going to want to find out if that theory is correct, you're going to have to. You guys are going to have to keep playing.
Stop talking, Jim.
Get out of my house.
And the rest of you all are going to have to keep listening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, until next time,
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch it on the flippity fly, but also
stay dangerous.